Shalom. I am Rabbi Nathan Davidovich, speaking to you on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. I'm going to talk a little bit about this week's Parsha and relate it to some very important things in our lives. The concept of time, how we use time, and the concept of how we can lose time. Not in the aspect of not doing something when you can do something else, but a different way where we can lose time, precious time that's allotted to us. This parsha is Parsha Ekev. It's in the Deuteronomy, and it talks about a number of things. It begins in a very interesting way. It begins with the words V'hoya. Let me just find it here. I'm sorry. V'hoya Ekev Tishmun es hamishpatim. And it will be when you listen to these commandments and you do them, you observe them, and so on. The word V'hoya, and it will be, is referred to by our sages as a language of joy, of simcha, lashon simcha. And the question arises, why is it starting this parsha with a lashon simcha, with language of happiness? Rabbi Avraham Twersky discusses this in his book, and he talks about the importance of recognizing that all we have is this moment in time. Later on in the parsha, it says, "V'ata Yisrael ma Hashem Elokecha shoel mimcha." The word "v'ata," now, with an ayin. What does God want from you? And the Chafetz Chaim says about this word "v'ata." He says, first of all, "Ein v'ata el tshuva," and other Meforshim say this too. The word "v'ata" refers to being able to repent. But why is that? He points out that v'ata with an ayin refers to now. We don't have yesterday. The worst thing somebody can try to do is to try to make a better yesterday. It's gone. As Rabbi Twersky said in his comment on the opening part of this parsha, he said they had a custom in their house of serving farfel on Shabbos. Farfel comes from the Yiddish. There's a Yiddish word which is farfallen, means lost. So his mother used to serve farfel and say, "This is to let us know that everything up until now is farfallen. It's lost. We can't undo what has happened." And this is what the Chafetz Chaim says. Ein v'ata l'tshuva, he says, Ein v'ata, this time, we have only this, we don't have yesterday, we have this moment. My father, Olav Shalom, would add, we don't have tomorrow. We have really this moment. So it's important to look at what we can do from this point forward, not to be tied up thinking about, how can I make a better yesterday? You can't. You can only make a better today. And hopefully you can work towards making a better tomorrow. Now this parsha, one of the things the parsha talks about is when Bnei Yisrael are about to enter Israel. This was after this parsha takes place just at the end of the 40 years wandering in the desert. And it says, you're going to have great nations that you're going to have to conquer. And the parsha says, Kisomar b'lvavcha, if you say in your heart, Rabim goyim ho'elim many, these people that we have to conquer, how are we going to drive them out of the land? God told us to drive them out of the land, take possession of the land. How are we going to do that? Pasuk says, Lo tiramehem, don't fear them. Zachar tizkores asher asa Hashem Elokecha leParo Mizraim. Remember what God did to Paro and the Egyptians. If God could take out an entire nation single-handedly in one moment from another nation, and all the miracles that happened with the Yetzias Mitzrayim, the exodus from Egypt, and on the at the sea and in the desert for 40 years, God can do all those things. You don't have to worry about conquering these people. But the Torah goes on to say, when you conquer them, it says you have to destroy their gods, their idols. And it says, a very interesting sentence. It says, "B'silei Eloheiam tisruhum ba'esh." You should burn their idols with fire. Lo sachmo kesef v'zav aleihem. You might see things that look valuable to you. They're made of gold, they're made of silver, and wow, you can melt them down and make a lot of money. No, don't. It says, don't desire them, and take them, pentivakesh bo, because you'll go astray. Ki so'avas Hashem Elokecha hu. This is an abomination to God. Now, the Seforno, one of the commentators, says that if you bring this kind of an abomination, an idol, into your house, not only are you doing something wrong by bringing that idol in, but it's going to destroy everything that's in your house. Any blessing that you had in your house will be lost as a result of this. Rabbi Tursky, in his comment, also refers to a Gemara. And the Gemara, the Talmud, talks about rage. And talks about rage, anger, as being an avodah zarah. When you lose your ability to control your anger, when you go into a rage, it's like you're worshiping idols. Because what is idol worship? Idol worship is following somebody other than what God tells you to do. Rage, anger is bringing an idol into your house. So when you bring rage into your house, it not only affects the fact that you're doing a tremendous wrong, a tremendous sin by getting angry and bringing rage into your house, but it's going to negatively affect everything else that you have in your house. We have this va'ata, this moment in time to live. Are we going to take that moment in time and destroy it by anger? What are we doing to one another throughout the world? Have we forgotten how to listen to people? Have we forgotten how to talk to people? Do we think that the only way to get a point across is to shout at people? Do you think if you yell loudest, that's the answer? Do you think if you go into a rage, that's the answer? The Torah tells us, no, that is not the answer. That is not what you should bring into your house. You should not bring these idols into your house. You can take this same learning about work that you do that isn't honest, and take that money into your house. It too is going to have an effect, a deleterious effect, a negative effect on everything else. So my blessing to all of us is that we take seriously the concept of va'ata, recognize that this is the only moment that we have, and use this moment. Use this. I'm sorry, there's a disturbance outside. Use this moment to get rid of anger, to serve God properly, not bring anger into your house and spoil everything else, and to lose this time. Thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. Look forward to speaking with you next week. I apologize for the disturbance in the other room and hope it didn't interfere too much with your listening to what I was saying. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.